Okay, hello everyone. We are so excited y'all are here for our UT Promise virtual coffee break. We think this is going to be a great time. My name is Ashton Braddock, and I serve as the UT Promise coordinator for this system. And it has been such an honor and privilege to get to work on UT Promise over the last 8 months. And we are so thankful that Randy Boyd had the big idea for UT Promise, and the president of University of Tennessee is here with us today. So welcome, Randy.
Ashton, thanks for hosting this coffee break and allowing us a chance to talk about the UT Promise. Thank you for all the hard work you and your team have done to help get this program off to an incredibly great start. I'm looking forward to sharing with everybody what the UT Promise is, why we're doing it, how we're doing, and how they can help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been so fun to work on. It's been a great success already. We've had over 7,200 applicants, which has been amazing. That was way beyond what we expected in our first year. So we know there's been a lot of interest in UT Promise and students wanting to pursue post-secondary education. And so we're excited that we're being able to offer this opportunity and now recruit mentors. But Randy, would you mind just giving us a little bit of information on what UT Promise is and where the idea came from and why as a state we need the UT Promise?
Well, let's start with the University of Tennessee mission. We are the land-grant university for the state of Tennessee, and our mission, as chartered with the Morrill Act in 1862, was to provide a ladder up to the working class and the middle class, giving everybody an opportunity to get a better education so they could get a better job and have a better life. And higher education is that opportunity. And the University of Tennessee is a great university, and we want more students to have access to be able to come. Some universities brag about how selective they are. Usually when you look at U.S. News and World Report rankings, the top schools brag about the fact that they rejected 90 or 95% of the students that applied. That's exactly the opposite of who we want to be. We want to be known by who we include, not by who we exclude. So the UT Promise gives us an opportunity to do that. If you make a family income of under $50,000 in the state of Tennessee, by the way, the median household income in the state of Tennessee is $48,000. So over half the population would qualify. But if you make under $50,000 and you can academically earn the right to come to either UT Martin, UT Chattanooga, or UT Knoxville, you will now be able to come free of tuition and fees. But the most important part is we're also going to match them up with mentors. That's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're hopeful that we get to answer all of your questions about mentors. So I wanted to point out at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you should have a little button that says Q&A. Feel free to type your questions in there, and then later on in the webinar, we'll answer them. And those are anonymous, so we'll just see them. No one else will know your name, but just put those in through there, and then we'll also add a poll. And then you can raise your hand. You'll see that button at the bottom of the screen too if we ask a question, and you can raise your hand for an answer there too. So yeah, we're recruiting mentors for UT Promise, which is a huge part of the component of the program. So our students have to complete 8 hours of community service each semester, and then they'll also have to complete mentoring requirements. And the mentor is really the heart of the program. It's the support that the students need to persist to graduation. So Randy, you've been a mentor for Tennessee Promise, and you have a heart for mentoring. So do you mind just talking about the importance of mentoring and why that's a component of the program?
Well, I'm a first-generation college student, and I know how important it was to have mentors in my life to help me be successful. And over the last 11 years, I've also been a mentor in another program called Tennessee Promise. So just to make sure everybody is clear, there's a program that the state organized that's called Tennessee Promise that helps students go to technical college and community college free of tuition and fees. The UT Promise is just within the UT campuses, and it helps students go to our UT schools free of tuition and fees. But both share two common things. Both require a service component, and both require having a mentor. And I can tell you firsthand experience being a mentor for the last 11 years with the Tennessee Promise program that it makes all the difference in the world. So many young people don't have anybody in their life that believes in them, that gives them that word of encouragement, that can support them when they run into challenges. And the mentor can make all the difference in whether they're successful or not. And every single year that I've been a mentor, I've had experiences with one young man that will maybe not have been able to make it to college without having that little bit of encouragement. As a mentor, I'm not helping them with their algebra or with their biology. We're not academic mentors. But we're there just to give them the encouragement and making sure that they follow all the steps they need to do to be successful in college.
Absolutely. And so for our mentor program, we are looking for about 1,300 more mentors. We have about 2,000 students that we're expecting to be in the UT Promise program, and we're wanting to match all of them with mentors. And as a mentor, you would be paired with 2 to 5 students, and you really get to support them throughout their collegiate journey. So like Randy said, you're not helping them with math, you're not a tutor, you're not a financial aid advisor, you're not a mental health counselor. You're just helping them be that extra push of support. So they might come from families and backgrounds where they don't have anyone who went to college or anyone who's supporting them throughout their journey. And you just get to give 1 hour a month and check in with that student and ask them what they need and ask them how they're doing. Maybe ask what classes they're taking. And that little extra support really helps them feel like someone sees them and someone cares about them and someone's cheering for them to get their degree. And so we're excited to have y'all participate in our mentor program. And we want y'all to feel free to ask questions. I see some already in the queue, so I'll go ahead and ask some of those. But I'll go over a few of the mentor requirements first. So you do have to be 21 years old or older. And then you'll be giving 1 hour a month to your students. You'll be paired with 2 to 5 students, like I mentioned. And then our mentoring will be done mainly virtually. So you'll be paired with a student based on preferences and based on, that could be location, that could be major. And then you'll be paired with that student and we'll guide you every step of the way. We'll train our mentors on what to do, what to say to their students. And then when you're on the platform, you'll get to interact with them via email, via video chat. And that's how you'll kind of connect and support your student. And then you can text them. And if you want to, beyond that, make connections on campus or off campus with your student, that's fine too. So that's kind of what we're looking for our mentors. And I'll go ahead and answer some of these questions that we're getting in the chat. So do you need to currently live in Tennessee or in the UT area to participate as a mentor? No, you don't. Since our mentoring is done mainly virtually, you can live outside of the state of UT. So out of the state of Tennessee. We are planning on pairing our freshman and sophomore students with faculty and staff to help them acclimate to campus. So they'll be able to drop in between classes with that mentor, or just have someone that can show them where the library is or get them connected to resources on campus. But then their junior and senior year, we'll be switching them to an alumni or friend of UT mentor. And that's to help them think beyond college. By the time you're a junior, you're kind of thinking, what career am I going to be in? What internships can I get? And so we'll kind of help them transition out of the university. And that's where these mentors can come in and help them. And so we might have a student who wants to live in Nashville or in Chicago. And if we have a mentor from those areas, they might put that as a preference of someone they'd want to be matched with. And then they could be matched with the person in their degree, in their industry, and in the location that they're wanting to move. And so that's really helpful to the student because they can be connected to someone who can maybe help them get internships in their field in the location that they're wanting to go. And then they can also help review their resume and things like that. So really thinking beyond college and into that career. And so you don't have to live in Tennessee because you might be able to be paired with a student who doesn't want to live in Tennessee or who doesn't want to live in an area where a UT campus is. Randy, we have a question for you. You've served as a mentor for many nonprofit organizations. Is there a favorite mentoring moment you can share with us?
Oh, that would be impossible to say. You know, I've been a Boy Scout master for 17 years. There's an unbelievable amount of great experiences there. I've been a big brother, big sister, or in Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and I've been a big brother for 8 years with one young man. I guess that would be the most important single relationship that I've had with my little in that program. But I'll say just with this program, a story that I've shared oftentimes when I was a mentor with the Tennessee Promise. Remember, I guess it's been 5 years ago now. I remember meeting with all the boys that I was going to be a mentor for. And by the way, usually we would do in Tennessee Promise, you'd match up with the same sex that you are. So I would always had guys. And you don't have to do this, but just for fun and a little bit extra, I would always meet with them maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the first meeting to have some pizza and just get to know them and their parents. And I remember at this one year, this one young man named Dustin brought his mom. He didn't have a father in the family, or at least hadn't been in the picture in a long time. And we had a nice meal. Everybody got to know each other. Learned where he was going to go to college, and I think it was Pellissippi, and what he was going to study. And he seemed very enthusiastic, very smart, and one of those young men that you thought, you know, he's going to make it. But a few weeks later, I was talking with the high school counselor who told me that, well, in Dustin's case, it's really he that takes care of his mom and not the other way around. And then about 2 weeks after that, I get a call from Dustin to tell me that, Mr. Boyd, I love the program and I really wanted to go, but you see, my mom, she's disappeared. We don't know where she's at. I'm living at my sister's and brother-in-law's house now. My brother-in-law said, look, I'll give, and I don't have a car, he said. So he said, my brother-in-law said, I'll give you a ride to Walmart or someplace where you can get a job. I'm not going to waste my time taking you to some college. And so he wasn't going to be able to go. We figured out a way to solve for the transportation issue. But I don't think if it hadn't been for me being in his life at that moment to be able to give him that encouragement and finding a way around that challenge, he would have been able to make it. And there's so many young people like Dustin that have some instance like that happens in their life that totally derails them. So just being there just at that right moment to give that right word of encouragement or that right word of advice means all the difference in success or failure for so many of these young people.
Absolutely. That's a great story, Randy. Thanks for sharing. We have a question about if you filled out the application, which is great. I'm so glad you've already committed to be a mentor. When will there be next communication? So right now we are in the process of planning our trainings, which we were hoping to do in person, but unfortunately due to current circumstances, we will do our trainings via webinar similar to this, where you can ask questions and we'll answer them for you. So we will plan those probably for later May and June, and then you'll get communication about how to register for those then. We have a question. As a judge in Henry County and a criminal justice major graduating in 1980 from UT Martin, I'm glad you're a UT alum, I'm interested in mentoring students interested in a career either in law enforcement or in the legal field. Is that a possibility? So yeah, so that's one of the things that we want to do is we want to pair students and mentors with similar interests, and that could be a major, that could be location, that could be basketball. So whatever your interests are, when you log on to your mentoring platform, you'll get to create a profile, and then that profile is what will be used to match you. And then you get to weight your preferences on, it's important for me, it's 100% important for me to be matched with someone in the industry that I work in, and it's 50% important for me to match with someone who lives in the same area as I do. And then maybe it's 75% important to be matched with someone as a similar racial identity as you. And so those are all things that we get to match on, which we really think will help create positive and engaging relationships for our students and our mentors. And we had a similar question about would a mentor be paired with someone who is majoring in something close to what we do now? So yes, again, you'll be able to match based on major and industry field. Okay, so we have one on, I want to sign up, but I'm concerned I don't have enough time to commit to be a mentor. What are your thoughts on fitting this into a busy schedule? Randy, I think this is one for you.
Yeah. Well, so over the last 11 years, I've been a candidate for governor, commissioner for economic and community development, a CEO of a business, special advisor on higher education, now the president of the University of Tennessee. I'm very busy, but as Ashton pointed out, an hour a month is all it takes. It'll be the most valuable hour that you spend. Not only will you give back a lot to these students, but you'll gain a lot back in return. I've always felt like my life's so much more enriched and rewarded as a result of being a mentor. So you can find the time, and it's not a huge time commitment. You can spend more time if you want, but an hour a month, we can all find that in our schedule.
Absolutely. Great answer. If the president of the University of Tennessee can do it, I believe you all can do it as well. 1 hour a month is really small time commitment. And just to clarify, that's 1 hour total. So if you're paired with 3 students, that would be 20 minutes per each student. So really something that you can do really easily. What if, for unforeseen circumstances, I cannot fulfill my commitment as a mentor? And Randy, maybe you can speak to this too, but we know that there are things that come up. We know that you might move cities, or you might have life changes that make it difficult to continue with your commitment. And if that happens, you can just reach out to us and we'll work on pairing this student with someone else to fulfill their requirements. But we don't want that to hinder anyone from signing up, because we know that things can happen, and we are prepared to make those adjustments if necessary. But we also believe that you could be a great mentor for the student. And so we don't want those potential changes to leave you hesitant to signing up.
I'll just add that I think if you sign up to be a mentor, it should be something that you're committed to, and it needs to be a serious obstacle that gets in your way. But those things do happen. And when they do, we'll be able to find another mentor that can step in and take your place if that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing we are asking mentors to do is to commit to 2 years. So when you're paired with a student as their freshman, you would stay with them their freshman and sophomore year. And the hopes, again, is that you're really building a relationship, that they see someone throughout their college career that they can connect to. It's not just someone that they met once. If this is someone that can really just relate to them and knows them and kind of gets to know their story over a period of time. And so that's why we ask for the 2-year commitment. But when you think about 1 hour a month for 2 years, that's 24 hours. So one day that we're asking you to give over 2 years. And we really believe that that's an easy commitment and something that everyone can give. Should mentors have at least a bachelor's degree so that we can walk alongside students during their college experience? That's a great question. You don't actually have to have a bachelor's degree. You could have a high school degree or an associate's degree. And we know that that could be helpful to have a bachelor's degree, but it is not a requirement. Okay. You stated that students will be paired with faculty and staff their first and second years at UT. Are you stating that UT Promise mentors won't mentor students until their junior years? So our faculty and staff will also be UT Promise mentors. So they'll still have to apply to be mentors as well. And we can't, depending on our numbers, we would also possibly pair an alumni or friend of UT with a freshman or sophomore as well. Our goal is pairing an alumni and friend of UT who's outside of the university, again, is to help with that career transition. One thing about the UT Promise right now is that we are grandfathering all of our students in. So we have juniors and senior applicants who will need mentors in the fall. So you won't have to wait 2 years. You could jump right in when we start in the fall as well. Okay, how many students are paired with a mentor? What is the sweet spot in terms of a good mentor to mentee match? Randy, you've been paired with a lot of different mentors or students. So what do you think about that?
Well, for the last 11 years with Tennessee Promise, usually you get matched with 5 or 6 students. Usually it's a different group of students, maybe less likely to have gone to college. These students are going to be more academically qualified, probably a lot more serious about going to a university, especially at one of the universities in the Tennessee system. But with the community college program, the Tennessee Promise, usually of the 5 or 6 students, 1 or 2 will drop out. Maybe one might actually go on to a 4-year school that doesn't apply to the Tennessee Promise. So I'll end up with somewhere around 3 or 4 when it's over with. And that seems to be a good ratio, but 5 is fine as well.
Absolutely. So our goal is to pair 2 to 5, and depending on how many mentors sign up, ideally we'd love to pair 1-to-1. So tell all your friends so we can get as many mentors as possible, because we do believe that the more intimate the relationship is, so 1-on-1 versus 1-on-5, the more you get to give advice to that student and build relationship and connection with them. And so we'd like to pair 1-on-1. So just tell all your friends about it. But we don't want to go over 5, because we don't want, if you're giving 1 hour a month, 5 students, that really kind of limits the amount of time that you can give with them. So we are hoping to kind of that 2 to 5 range, but it depends on how many mentors we get signed up. Which that leads perfectly into our next question. We had someone ask, I'm currently signed up to be a UT Promise mentor, which is great. How can I help you all recruit other mentors? That's a great question. And Randy can speak to this too, but we do have social media graphics that you can post. We also have a place on our website where you can recommend other mentors. So you just fill that out, and every Monday we send out an email to those recommended mentors, and we use your name in that email and saying you were recommended by this person. And then you can send emails out to groups that you're in. So if you are in a civic club or a homeowners association and you have connections with your neighbors and you want to send out emails to groups that you're in, that's a great way to help us recruit other people. So we're trying to reach a broader audience. We have connections with the UT community, but we're really trying to reach the whole state. So if you have other connections, we'd love for you to send out emails, and we're happy to provide any text or graphics that you might need to send those out or put them in newsletters. Randy, do you have any ideas on how to recruit others?
No, I think you covered most all the different technical ways in which you could reach out, but I think the most important thing is that you do reach out, because people will respond to a friend, like those that are listening now, much more so than they will to me or to Ashton. So if a friend of theirs says, hey, I'm doing this, I'd like for you to do it with me, it's much more persuasive and powerful. So just take the time to reach out every way you can. One of my favorite expressions is always remember your ABCs, always be closing. Anytime someone gives you a mic or an audience, you've got a chance to talk. Find a way to squeeze in a pitch to ask people to join you as a mentor. The students need it, but the ones that mentor will also be greatly rewarded in the experience that they get.
Absolutely. Word of mouth is our biggest help. So I know if a friend comes and tells me they've signed up to do something, that's what's going to make me want to sign up too. So like Randy said, it's going to mean more coming from you. So we really encourage you to tell your friends that you've signed up and about why you're excited about the opportunity and what it can give to both the student and yourself. We have a question about what to talk about with your students. So how do you know what to talk about? We will do trainings, and so we'll guide you through every step of the way. We'll also, in the mentoring platform, give you prompts and things to talk about with your students, so you're guided every step of the way. You'll also get some handbook materials on ideas and topics to talk about. But Randy, I'd love to hear your response on this as well.
Well, yeah, so that's a really great question because it's going to be different. If you're talking to a freshman, really all they're trying to figure out is how am I going to be successful on campus? How many classes should I sign up for? Which major should I choose? Can I delay in choosing my major and figure it out later? Those type of questions. They'll have questions about living on campus and being able to navigate the whole campus process. By the time they're a junior, if you're a mentor for those juniors and seniors, they're beginning to look to the future, especially the seniors, and they're really worried about what's next. And how does one go about getting the right job, and how do I network to start getting my build a network of contacts? And so, just giving them that job advice and counseling will be also very, very important.
Absolutely. So we have someone who asked, I'm a UTK staff member. How should I let my supervisors know about this program? And are there built-in mechanisms for UT staff to be allowed to be mentors? So all staff and faculty are allowed to be mentors. You do just have to fill out an application. And so like we said, with how to recruit mentors, we encourage you to just let your supervisors know, point them to our website, or you can contact us if you have someone that you specifically want to know about it, and we can send them some information about the opportunity. And we have a question about what we ask for in the mentor application. So we ask for a lot of your general and basic information like name and address. We do ask for your sex, and we ask if you're a first generation student because that's something you could be paired on as well. And we ask for your race. And then we ask you your previous education. So we want to know where you went to school and what degrees you have. And that again will help us make the transition for you when you're going onto the mentoring platform easier. We'll be able to pre-populate a lot of your answers. And then we also ask for you to sign off agreeing you to commit to 2 years. And so that's kind of the gist of it. It's pretty simple, doesn't take a long time. And all of those things that we're asking are really to help us pair you with the student. Randy, would you give any advice to someone or any maybe final push to someone who's on the fence about, should I mentor? I'm not really sure. Could you give any kind of final, this is why I really believe that you should be a mentor?
Well, I think most people, like myself, the first time I ever volunteered in Boy Scouts is your biggest concern is just being able to have the time. And are you qualified? And I can tell you that you'll find the time. It's not a big time commitment. And the time that you do spend, you'll find that you get rewarded greatly for that investment time. And second, again, you're not going to need to be an expert in campus orientation or all the other things, mental health or all the other counseling, as Ashton said. There's other resources for that. You just need to be there to give them that word of encouragement, give them that positivity, and let them know that somebody believes in them and will be there to support them. I know that might sound small, but for so many young people, that makes all the difference in the world. And so you can make knowing that you can make a major difference in somebody's life, just spending an hour a month should be encouragement enough. And I hope everyone that's listening decides to be a mentor and tells all their friends.
Absolutely. Well, we don't have any more questions in the queue. If you do have any last questions, throw them in there really quickly. But we're going to do a quick poll to see who is going to decide to be a mentor. So you should see this pop up on your screen. And it just says, will you sign up to be a UT Promise mentor? Yes, of course. Not today. So far, I see 0% on that. And then I already did. So if you don't mind just selecting that there, we'd be happy to see your response. Oh, we do have another question. How will you? Oh, you can't.
I'm just saying that I can't vote. I've already signed up. I think I was a mentor number one.
Yes, Randy was the first to sign up, so he has already signed up, and we're excited about that. So we do have one more question. How will the UT Promise mentoring program work with or be different than first year studies program? That's a great question. So first year studies is specifically around the course that students take in the fall. And so one thing that we're hoping to do in the future is to have a UT Promise section of that course. And so students could be in that course with other UT Promise students. We're not able to do that this year, but it's something we're hoping to do in future years. So that is taught by a faculty or staff member, and then they also have a peer mentor in that course. But this will be different because it won't be as much curriculum. So that class is really about connecting them to all the resources on campus, and it's very campus specific. But as a mentor, you're more just the outside support of like, what do you need help with? Are you enjoying your classes? And in that course, that first year studies course, they're not really necessarily getting someone who's asking them those questions, those personal questions about how they're doing. So a mentor would be able to do that for them. Thanks for that question. We see great responses here. So far, no one said they were not going to sign up. So I think we did our job, Randy. And we have about 55% that said they already signed up, and 45% that said, yes, of course, they're going to sign up. And we can't leave here without telling you how to sign up. So you can go to utpromise.tennessee.edu and fill out the application. There's also a video there of kind of going over some of the things we talked about today, but the importance of mentoring and how to sign up to be a mentor. So we're hopeful this was helpful. Randy, do you have any last words to our audience?
Well, first, just a thank you, Ashton, for putting this on and for all your passion and hard work to make this program so successful in its very first year. If you believe in UT and you believe in the state of Tennessee, as I know all of you do, there's no better way to make a difference for the state of Tennessee and for the University of Tennessee than through the UT Promise program, making us a more accessible university. And it's not just about accessibility, it's about success. And we want to make sure when they get to school, they're successful, and that's where you come in. So we're counting on you. Thanks for signing up for those that already have, and for everybody that's about to sign up, thank you, and go Vols, go Skyhawks, and go Mocs.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for attending. If you have any other questions that weren't answered here today, you can email me at utpromise@tennessee.edu. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody.